Well, let me turn my microphone on. There we go. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope we always do. Let me do some shout outs. Candid, I guess that's what that is. Candice, good morning to you. Mackenzie, good morning. Juan, good morning to you. And Big Oklahoma 47. Good morning to you all as well. The phone lines are open. All you have to do is give us a call 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We got a topic we're going to talk about this morning, but we're going to wait for everybody to get in here. Everybody's pretty much navigating right now, trying to get themselves in position, and they will be in with us in a minute. But before I go any further, I want to ask you all a question. This is one of the things we're going to talk about today. And I want to ask you what and this is individual perspective. This is individual based because it means something, I think, to something different to everybody. But my question to you is, and give us a call. Give us a call. Big Oklahoma 47. Give me a call. Juan, Mackenzie, give me a call. Stark, give me a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Asking the question, what does peace? People always talking about they want peace in their life. They want this and they strive to get peace. But what does peace look like? What does peace look like? Give me a call if you know what peace to you, what does it look like to you? Like I say, to every individual, it could mean something different. It could mean something totally different. I want to know from you all, what does peace look like? If peace were to come knock on your door in the middle of the night, would you recognize? It? Look who we got here. Captain Larry, good morning. How you doing? This morning, sir?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, I'm asking a question, man. I'm asking a question this morning. And I need to hear your heart on this, Leonard.
Yes, sir.
And it's and like I said earlier, it's an individual. It's individual. It's an individual answer. Leonard, everybody always talk about peace. They want peace. They striving for peace. They gotta have peace in their life. There will be peace in the valley for me. Yeah, I don't mind.
You can't
I
have
hit
no
that note.
peace with that song.
But Leonard, what does peace look like? Do most people know what peace even looks like? What is it? If peace came and knock on most people's door, and would they recognize what it is?
Yes, people want peace. They just sometimes people don't know how to go about it. We have nations that don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to go about it.
Mm.
So it's one thing to say it's one thing to say you want it,
Mm-hmm.
but what it takes to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Peace ain't something that just really happened.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a what's your concept of peace? First of all,
Exactly.
some
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
can have peace and everything around them can be falling down because their concept of peace has nothing to do with what's going on outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So from practicing in meditation, it's you trying to reach, like with Buddhism, you're trying to reach peace inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's very personal.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really clarify when you're talking about peace because it exists in different places.
Mm-hmm.
But world peace is different from inner peace. What type of peace do you want? Some people believe that peace can be the cessation of suffering,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and as long as they're not suffering, they're in peace.
Individually.
Yeah, they're in
Mm-hmm.
peace.
Mm-hmm.
Some people relate to peace as it relates to what's going on the stage, world stage.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it is peace between gang violence, you want peace, or
Mm-hmm.
when some people call a truce to the fighting that's been going on. So that's that simple moment that they stop fighting this peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, peace means different things to different people. Inner peace, I think, is misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the part I was talking about right there. That inner peace where you just in peace within yourself.
Hmm.
And I think if an individual have that inner peace or is able to find that inner peace, then that's gonna pour out. That cup is gonna pour over, and hopefully it's gonna pour into other people, and they will be able to enjoy some of that peace as well. What do you say to that? We got a couple of people. I want to get your heart on
Oh,
it.
I think peace is a choice, and
Mm,
everybody has to make it.
mm-hmm.
It's not something that rolls over.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm.
just not. It's a state of being. You can be in
Wow.
peace if you would like to be, anytime you'd like to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can.
So you don't think if somebody come around, it's almost like somebody come around you, man. They always in this bad, terrible mood. They always are Debbie Downer. And if you stay around that person for 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna find yourself being drained. That's not the same result if somebody comes to you in a peace and they're always positive. The result is not the same.
No, because peace is not dependent on someone else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something when it comes to inner peace has nothing. You can come to me toe up from the flow up.
Mm-hmm.
I may be at peace. I'm
Okay.
at peace. You're not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to really give up my peace
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for your BS.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
I'm really not usually going to do that because I'm more concerned with inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why y'all can't get along.
How much does that cost though? Does that cost something in that inner peace you're talking about?
Oh, it don't cost me nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
it's,
let's
it's
talk about
best
let's talk.
it's best for me.
Well, let's talk about the average person. Does it usually cost them something?
No, no, it's not a matter of cost. Anybody can have it. The poor man, the rich man, regardless.
When
It's
I say
sacri-
cost,
it's peace is just that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Peace.
But see, from my standpoint, I want to go to Charles. We got a Curtis on the phone line as well. I want to touch them brothers as well. As a matter of fact, let me go to Charles. Charles, unmute yourself there, brother. Charles, you there?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, we talk about peace, and everybody talk about they want peace, and they're looking for peace, and they want to obtain peace. But if peace were to come knock on the average person's door in the middle of the night, would they be able to recognize what that peace is? Would they be able to recognize that peace?
I'm not sure, man. People like Leonard was saying that like peace to me is like to each his own type thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
would like to say sometimes I understand what you were saying about the cost of peace. And everybody doesn't look at it the same way, but people who
Mm-hmm.
look at the cost of stuff like that, it can cost you friends. If
Yes.
you want to use
Yes.
the word friend. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? In that technological way, terminology of friends, it can cost
Mm-hmm.
you that. If you want peace, you need to leave those certain type people alone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So you're not giving up bad things, but that's for the people that outward things do bother. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because people
Mm-hmm.
like Leonard is really like me. Outward things don't bother.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me like that? My peace is like I said, I was in prison. I was at peace. You understand? Even though I was around a whole bunch of foolishness, I was at peace within myself because I knew my being and what I was supposed to do while I was there. So I was at peace. So a lot of people probably don't know peace. That's why they don't have peace within them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you always see them at a ruckus, at a point in life, everything always moving a certain way. They don't know peace because peace is a learned thing. Also, you have to learn to
Mm-hmm.
meditate.
Yeah.
You don't just wake up meditating. You have to learn how to meditate. You got to learn
Mm-hmm.
within yourself. A lot of people don't know themselves, so how they gonna know peace?
That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you went there, man, because that was pretty much my point as well, man. Sometimes it's gonna cost you something. Sometimes it's gonna cost your family members and quote unquote friends in order for you to have that peace, because you can't live your life. You can't live peace when there's always a storm going on. When there's always a storm going on in and around you because what people has brought into your life.
But you really can. You can really live peace with that.
Yes.
Certain people can't live that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm trying to say? Like certain people like the style of person that Leonard is.
Mm-hmm.
He probably you can have a thunderstorm going on around him and he's still at peace because your foolishness is not gonna bother him. You
Mm-hmm.
get what I'm saying? Your foolishness is not gonna
Yeah.
move him at all. But
Mm-hmm.
certain other type people, you can just barely touch them and and I'm not talking about touching their body, just barely touch them in any kind of way, and they're not at peace because they're always on the edge. You understand? Like you know how they got the glass, and whatever's in the glass, when you tip the glass over, it's going to spill out. See,
Yes.
if peace is not in you, it's not going to spill out on any situation. If ruckus and all this other stuff is within you, you can just touch that glass, and that's what's going to spill out. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Peace.
everybody's not the same on that, but I get what you're saying. Sometimes you got people around you just need to keep away from you if you can't control yourself. See, it's controlling myself around them, not letting them control me. I can have craziness around me, but if I control myself and I'm at peace with myself, their foolishness won't bother me.
Good. That's good. That's good.
Right.
And but my thing is, and to my point, I guess I've been in situations, even in church, man. I've gone to church sometimes, and I sit beside somebody in church, and I go in there in a jolly, in a great mood, man. I'm good. I'm feeling good. And I sit beside this person, man. And 20 minutes in sitting beside this person, it's like I'm drained. I'm tired, and man, what is going on? Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing good, brother. I need you to talk to me on this right here, man. Peace. Everybody's talking about this peace, and they want to have peace. Tucson, I see you, brother. Coming to you next. Everybody talk about they want to have this peace, and they're looking for peace. But Curtis, if peace would have come in the middle of the night, in the noontime or whatever it is, and knock on their door, would they recognize what that peace is? Most people.
I think a lot of that depends on the generation which that given person has grown in, has manifested. Because we are dealing with a generation of folk who don't know peace because they ain't never had peace. So in times to have a chaotic life, to constantly be enthralled in some form of chaos, foolishness, and the drama is actually normal. You understand? So to have some peace show up in their lives, that's not normal for them. So they wind up working.
Hey Curtis, let me jump in 1 second, man. And I love what you're doing and where you're going with this. But let me ask you this question: if that peace were to show up, can that peace that shows up in their life be disruptive?
You saying will they disrupt it?
No, can that peace? You say that sometimes their life is so traumatic that if peace show up, they wouldn't recognize it. But could that peace, because of the life that they live, could that peace also be disruptive because it's so out of place?
Well, peace is never disruptive, but it can cause
disruption.
It can cause feelings of discomfort.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal.
Peace is never disruptive. And I guess some people would say, well, you know, the Civil Rights March was a peaceful march. And it disrupted the whole country. But peace is never truly disruptive because peace is always still. What is disruptive is your response to the peace that you are receiving.
Okay.
But peace itself is never disruptive. I don't think. But I'm just telling you, I'm just speaking from what I'm seeing and what I'm dealing with every day. What I'm seeing is you have a culture of a massive culture of people who do not and cannot even recognize when there is a positive peace that's moving in their lives. They're incapable of realizing it. Now, that's not to say that they'll never realize it. As they mature And as they start to see how certain things affect them,
Mm-hmm.
then they start to realize it. But it's not like us.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing like us. I'm just gonna keep it 100, all the way a buck, all the way a stat. It's nothing like what we experienced growing up, and we
Mm-hmm.
can't even. I used to say, well, you know what? Everything done under the sun has already been done,
Mm-hmm.
and that's true to that's true to an extent. But um, the things that the things that these young folk are seeing going on today. When we grew up, there wasn't so many walking contradictions.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
Wow.
know what I mean? There wasn't there wasn't so many choices. Think about I'll just because I 3 minutes is coming up. Think about when you was 7 years old. I'll use this as an example. I did this in a group. Think about when you were 7 years old, right here. You and your mama, y'all going in a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You need toothpaste,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Uh-huh.
Now think about the toothpaste section. Just the section of toothpaste was when you was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the grocery store now at your age now. Go to the toothpaste aisle. How big is that section now?
It's much larger. Much larger.
You see, there's so many choices and there's so many distractions that you almost forget. You almost gotta be a scientist to just go and get what you actually went for. What did you go for? You went to buy some toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in here boxes. Oh, this is gonna be good for my enamel, but this one's gonna good. This is teeth whitener. Oh, this one got that. Oh, I can't use that one because it's got this in it. It's
Good
I don't know,
deal.
man.
Yeah.
It's just they growing up in a different era and a different time where the methodologies can be the same, but the outcomes are just I don't know. I don't know how to word. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Good deal. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I used to say that I'm trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You ever heard me say that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You must be at 50 cent now.
I checked my pocket and 2 of them nickels gone.
God almighty.
Son of a gun.
Look at him. Look at him. What is it? What just happened? What just happened?
A nickel and some lint. I got
Mm.
a nickel and some lint.
Mm.
I'll be doggone.
Man, look at him. Man, now you and look at and whatever you do though, like old folks say, don't take no wood nickels. They don't spend, but don't take no wood nickels. Hey, let me get a phone number before you do that. Tucson, let me get a phone number. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a phone. Give us a phone call. Give us a call. You ain't got to stay long. Stay as long as you can. We're going to talk to you, and we want to hear your heart on what we're talking about. Now, Tucson, we're talking about peace. Do most people know what peace look like? Everybody say they want it. Everybody want to obtain it. But do they know what it looks like, Tucson? Talk to me.
Oh man, look, I wanted to pick it back on what Cuddy was saying, man. There's so much confusion everywhere you go. Then it's kind of hard to. And I would even go back to jump on the bandwagon of what he said. I know that even the word says there's no new thing under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But we have added so much to the new thing, then it's hard to identify it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let alone try to figure out where we are. So when you talk about all of the things that's going on, and you try to find peace, man,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a maze
Yes, sir.
that you that has high walls, and every once in a while they got a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Um, so I mean, take for instance our young folks at age 6. All of a sudden, I should have been a girl.
Mm.
Wait a minute. I mean, you got to be careful these days when you try to think about, you know, the norm. Well, I can't say that. See, I said something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somebody already offended.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I mean. I'm wrong to say that the norm is what it is
Mm-hmm.
because nobody knows what the norm is.
Exactly.
And our norm at 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 in our 50s and coming towards 60s, if there be, or even late 40s, our norm is actually a thing of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And you the strange one because you got a wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done the best to raise your children in if the best to the best of your ability in the admonition of God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't say God. Oh, don't say God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. There you go with that again.
Mm-hmm.
And see when you talk about that, the only thing that I know to resolve the 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 desire to have peace is the peace that He give me. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"This peace I leave with you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not peace of the world." I understand what He's saying
Exactly.
because this world
Mhm. Good deal. 3 minutes.
ain't got no peace from the 3 minutes up. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep everybody on that little rotation so we
No,
can
I'm
move.
good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
got you, got you.
I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. You good, brother? You good? I appreciate you.
I'm usually short-winded.
Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
It's peace is such a choice. Think about it. We have to make peace deals.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And these are things that are so important. Everybody has a piece. Whether you don't operate in that or you don't care for it or what have you. It's not
Mm-hmm.
natural, and
Mm-hmm.
it takes you have to do something. You can't depend on someone else
Mm-hmm.
because you have to always remember when you bring yourself into a situation. That's why a lot of times I greet people, and when I'm leaving, usually peace and blessings,
Yes.
because this is what people need.
Mm-hmm.
They need peace and blessings. This is what we pray for. The peace that when you're talking to someone who is all over the place, you have to help them call on that peace
Mm-hmm.
and practice peace and bring it about. It's hard for a person that raises so much hell to be peaceful.
Yes, sir.
People would automatically think that I'm just always on the warpath,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not. There's a time for all things, and much respect
Mm-hmm.
to Charles, because like he said, he just gave you that example. Because I don't know how I would adjust,
Mm-hmm.
but he was able to do his time at peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's discipline. See,
Mm-hmm.
that practice allows him now to move about freely, choose his own destiny, and do anything that he wants to do because
Mm-hmm.
he's not so absorbed in what you're doing
Yeah.
and putting what you're doing first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only way. I don't put you and your feelings before mine.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I don't give you that type of power.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, like I said, I have to bring my piece to the table and give you that and share that. But if you don't want to, guess what? I have to turn on the war machine
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to be at peace. You know, peace is just not recognizing things.
But
Peace is a choice.
let me ask you this question, because you just said something that was very interesting to me. You said if they don't want that peace, or they don't want to be a part of that peace, then you have to turn on your war machine. So have they at that moment destroyed your peace?
No, it's just that one, I'm going to fight whatever negativity that they have.
But does that not destroy the peace
No,
at that moment? At that moment.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I'm still at peace. I've made the decision to do what I'm gonna do. I'm going to defeat you because that's what's going to be necessary, because you refuse to move. You refuse
Okay.
to step out of the way. Remember, it's never about that's the problem with people. If you walk up to me thinking it's all about you, you're going to be very disturbed. I don't even care for people like that. I don't even really associate with people like that, because that's all they want to do is destroy your
How's it
peace.
working out for you?
Yeah.
They come to steal, to kill, and to destroy.
So they're demonic.
You can call it what you want. You ain't got to have no demon to do that. That could be just you. So, you know, it's that matter of like one with two nations have to agree to peace. You have to agree to peace.
Wow.
You have to agree with it. I'm not going to go around making mischief. I'm not going to go around starting mess. I'm not going to go around he said, she said. I'm not going to go around lying on people, because these are people that are about destroying someone's peace.
Wow. Wow.
And that's usually my sign to get it, put my foot in your behind. If I was
And
happy when you walked up and then all of a sudden something started to bother me, it's you that's bothering me. So you
and
got to
see,
go.
and see, my thing is this right here, and this is my stance on it. You know, everybody have their own different views, but I say that if that would have happened like that, and they come into your existence, and with all that foolishness and stuff like that, and now you're at war with them because of something that they did, said, or whatever the case. At that moment, I think, this is just me talking now, I think they've destroyed a piece or a part of your peace at that moment, because they've infiltrated in on your peace, and now it's a war situation. Go ahead,
Yes, you're
Charles.
going to have to war. You're going
Let
to
me,
have to war.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying, Raheem, but let me tell you something, man. The most peaceful people you don't want to go to war with, because their peace, their peace is a chosen thing, and they choose to go to war also. And they can drop right back into their peace. All right? They're some of the most people that you don't want to mess with. And it's not really destroying their peace, because they will get you and still be at peace. You get what I'm saying? And I guess I don't know your definition of peace on this. Is that, hey, let me tell you this. When I was taking martial arts, I had my grandmaster and my grandmaster's teacher. These cats were like really, really martial artists. You understand? From when they were 6 years old and they're in 70s and stuff. They were always at peace. You would never think that they could destroy your body with their body, but they were always at peace. Now, when you got them to the point that they had to protect themselves, then they would protect themselves, but still be at peace, knowing that they protected themselves. Just like if you got, like you saying, like somebody sat next to you at church, and that within them came upon you, and you start feeling your peace go away, or what you felt like was your peace, what could have been just you protecting yourself. You understand? If your body protects itself, it doesn't mean that you have to lose your peace. You understand? Because peace is a choice to me, man, and it's a learned thing. It's a muscle. You understand? It's like if you don't work it, it's gone. But if you get like Little was saying, if you bring out the war machine, it's still gonna be peace, because you only brought this out because this is what you wanted, and I'm still at peace with it. I'm at peace with giving you my war machine. You get what I'm saying? I'm at peace with dealing with you in the way you want to be dealt with. I'm at peace with that.
I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying make perfectly good sense. I'm not disputing it, but my question is, during that moment, that 20 or 15, 20 minutes or whatever, that you're at war with this person, are you still in that place of peace? Because now, you know, a big part of your peace has been tampered
Man,
with.
look, I get what you're saying. I like peace. I love peace. but I also
Mhm.
love to argue my point. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying?
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I'm at peace when I'm arguing my point, is what I'm
Mhm.
trying to tell you. Is
Mhm.
that the same thing I believe Leonard's saying? I'm going to be at peace and I'm going to always be calm at a certain time. But
Mhm.
just because you see me riled up don't mean I'm still not at peace within myself. Peace is
Okay.
within myself. Meaning, I get what you're saying. You're saying, like, just because I'm arguing, I'm not at peace.
Yeah.
That's not true, though. That's not
Mhm.
true, because you can see people who battle and still be at peace. When I was in the military, I met some really killer dude cats, you know what I'm saying? Like special killers, but they were always at peace. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
To me,
Mhm.
what I've always, I didn't, you had the kind who was just always at a ruckus too. But
Yeah.
some cats
Yeah.
that were always at peace are the kind of guys that, okay, this is a dude that if you bother his peace, he gonna show you another piece of himself. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? Don't make him go get his piece. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's
I
at
get.
peace, though. The dude was at peace. These guys were at
Mhm.
peace. And I think that's the type of person that Leonard is talking about, that he is. And that, but I see what you're saying, the type of person that you are, is that if you're coming at me the wrong way, now I got to go at you the wrong way. And now you don't mess with my peace, because it takes me time to get back to where I was at.
Exactly.
It don't
Exactly.
take me time to get back where I'm at. I'll show you what I can do, and then I'm back where I'm at. Hey, you all right? You want to have a
Mhm.
drink? You okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm back at peace. Because
Exactly.
I only gave it to you, and it was my choice to give it to you. Because
Mhm.
apparently it's your choice to not leave me alone.
Good
Um.
morning, Public. He changed his name, Public Paul Limited.
Yeah. He done
Right.
changed. He done changed his name on it.
Let me tell you, my dad. My dad didn't tell me, but his friend told me this. My dad was a real peaceful guy. He said
Mhm.
he was at a bar and this white dude kept bothering him. This is what the dude told me. My dad said, "Man, leave me alone before I cut you." And the
Mhm.
dude kept on bothering him. He was drinking and kept on bothering him. So my dad pulled out his knife and cut the dude up. Cleaned the knife off, drunk his drink, gave the bartender his money, and said, "Hey, I apologize for the mess," and walked out. Back at
Mhm.
peace. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
wasn't the type that would hold it for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back at peace.
I had an uncle like that. You know, he do what he gonna do to you, man. He go on about his business. And it is what it is.
Right.
Public. Well, he don't change his name. Let me see. Public Paul Limited. He wants to know what kind of martial arts were you and Leonard, in, Charles?
First of all, I'll let him know I don't practice martial arts. I practice peace and meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a part of certain martial arts, and I get what he's saying. But I was in it was a style called Wushu Kwando, and it was a style made by my grandmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, him and his buddies made this style up. It was like 13 different styles all together, and it was old, man. I mean, matter of fact, his teacher was um, one of Chuck Norris's teachers, one of the guy who fought with Bruce Lee. I spoke with this guy. It's like he was an Asian guy. His teacher was. This guy was a black guy out of
Mm-hmm.
Brick City, Jersey. But yeah, that's my style was Wushu Kwando. So it's a mixture of different arts.
And martial arts, what people don't realize it, and I would like people to do some research and find. I'm gonna mute your line there, Charles. You got some background noise coming. I want people to do some research and find out who exactly Confucius was. Confucius was here in martial arts. I want people to do some research and find out exactly who that individual is. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
Nothing. I was just listening to what you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Come on,
a
man.
real peaceful, my opinion, will never be disturbed,
Mm-hmm.
even in wartime. In all reality, peaceful mind. I done seen this in action. Peaceful mind will create a war plan that will completely decimate his enemy,
Mm-hmm.
and he might not even fire one round.
Mm.
A peaceful mind can completely decimate an enemy, and he not have to fire one round.
Mm-hmm.
See, a peaceful mind understands that there's more things to war or to adversarial combat outside of me having to physically make any kind of adjustment to harm or me verbally make any kind of adjustment to harm. A
Mhm.
peaceful mind to think about such things as simple as the logistics of what the human body needs to sustain itself from day to day, and then cripple that. And martial arts, you know, if you really pay attention, from what I've learned over the years, and when I took a little bit of martial arts, everything about martial arts was defensive. Everything about it, even when you attack, you're attacking from a defensive position. So I let you come, like I took Kempo. So in Kempo, the idea is to take, it's almost like, if I was to put it in a terminology, it's the reverse force.
Mm-hmm.
So if you throw a punch at me and you angry and you just throwing a punch, the object is to take that punch, take the force of that punch and use it against you.
And
You
intercept,
do it, I didn't.
intercept the power.
So
Intercept the power. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I've seen over the years, you know, and I'm like Charles, when I was in the military, you know, I knew a couple I knew a couple snipers. And they were truly at peace with what they had to do. I knew a sniper that this guy knew the Bible. Yes, man, he probably knew the Bible better than the Pope.
Mm.
You understand? And I asked him one time, I said, man, how do you you know, we was talking, we was in Port-au-Prince and we was on guard together. And I asked him, I said, man, how do you know, you here right now, but you can get that call and you're gone tomorrow. I said, how do you do that, man? How do you lay for hours at a time? You know, and then, you know, once whomever's in the crosshairs, how do you make it through?
Mm-hmm.
That, man, it's the most peaceful place I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
He
Wow.
said, that's the time of God.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time when I quote scriptures. And I would, you know, some people would say Kirby just crazy. But I can't help but think about it. If I'm
Great.
having a chaotic
Mm-hmm.
day, if I start praying, or if I say a scripture, there's a certain level of peace that come over that whole situation.
Exactly. Exactly. 3 minutes. Let me come. Let me circle around. I'm gonna come right back to you. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, and I'm hearing what everybody's saying, because there is peace don't come from outside.
Mm.
It is on the inside, and it don't go away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really don't. I'm almost careful about saying that I don't get upset. Some people say, you upset? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. There's just some things that I don't tolerate.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna invade my space. I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm gonna just tell you back off.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's in some kind of way there might be some consequences, some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But that ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing. That's where I am, and I choose to remain there
Mm-hmm.
at all costs. And here's another thing about people: even if they get into a battle, you can't fight anger.
Mm-hmm.
I look at those that really have a strategy about themselves. They want to make you mad. They want to make you get upset so that you can lose your composure. Because an angry person that loses their composure, loses where they are,
Yeah.
or out of control.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's your aim. Make him lose control. We used to see it, get into something with somebody, and you know, your mama might come out of
Mm-hmm.
Now you know that's gonna make them mad.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
anyway, just because a person defends themselves, even to that point, that I'm kind of agreeing because they just do what they do. I had a fallout. I say a fallout with a person yesterday. He
Mm-hmm.
comes in the office and he wants to explain about it. I say, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is how life works. Something happens, we react to it and move on.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm gonna do about yesterday? Nothing. Can't do nothing.
No.
I can only the only time that I have is right now, and I'm trying to do so. It's an inward thing,
Mm-hmm.
and even when a person seems to do something different, that don't mean that they don't still have that peace. Because worst person you can do something to is a person like I think that Charles said that if he's quiet and he don't bother nobody, you better leave that fella alone.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. 3 minutes. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
As you can see, people have different concepts of peace, but when they really think about it, like with Charles and martial arts, one of the biggest component of martial arts is discipline.
Yes, it is.
That's one of the things now that you like. Say, for instance, if you have especially a child who is all over the place and he can't control himself, one of the best places to take him to learn discipline is within martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
It's when because it teaches them how to use energy a certain way and how to manage themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched many sessions with my kid with martial arts, and that's the biggest part is the discipline. Once I discipline you, I can teach you all the skill in the world,
Yeah.
but I have to teach you the discipline first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great place to learn it is in martial arts. Now, for some people, you have to learn that discipline not to. I find it hard to believe that you can't close your own mouth.
Mm. Mm.
I find it hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you're dealing with an out of control person. They can't keep their mouth shut.
Well, a lot of times they try to blame that, and as crazy as it sounds, they try to blame that on their anger. When I got mad, I got angry. That's an excuse.
That's an
You allowed
excuse.
yourself. Yeah, you allowed yourself to get angry because you could have controlled you. This
Right.
person can't control you. You have to control you.
And it's hard where someone has to apply that pressure to you
Mm-hmm.
to get you to do something that is within your control. And
Mm-hmm.
that's I think where I differ from most people. I'm not going to force you
Mm-hmm.
to do what's best for you.
That's right.
I'm not going to do it.
No, and shouldn't
I'm
have to.
not going to beg you to do something what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got great guys and I see it in them and I admire that part of their character. Like with what Kurt does or people or what Miss Cassandra does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that
Yeah.
with you. I'm not going to go back and forth with. I'm going to tell you what's the right thing to do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give you instruction and things of that nature. But what I'm not going to do is go back and forth with you because you're less than right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're less than your best right now.
Mm-hmm.
And until you get to the point where you desire to be better, you won't be.
No.
You
No.
won't be. I don't care how awful you think it is and whatever excuse you use. If you
Mm-hmm.
addicted, any issue you have comes back to how you're managing it. Some of the worst things that imagine the slave that was beaten and sold and lived the way they lived, and they kept things to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes the wrong move could mean death. The wrong move could mean a chopped off arm, leg, or some type of ill treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to be under this pressure. You know, it's sad that some of us, like some people say, if you ask some people who get in a lot of trouble, yeah, I needed to sit down. Jail saved my life. That's when I really sat down, stopped running my mouth and acting a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I went to jail and I sat down for 4 or 5 years. You can read a lot of books in 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
You know, because that's the key, listening.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to always be running your mouth.
Well, and like I say, a lot of times people say they use that excuse, man. Where I got angry, I got upset, and I didn't mean it. Well, you said it. You said it.
Right.
Who made you say it? You know, there got to be something in you somewhere that feel the way that you said it because you said it.
You said it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what I was upset, man. You know,
I don't
forgive
care.
me. Yeah, you know, forgive me, man. I didn't mean what I said. You know, I just anger got the best of me. No, anger brought the truth out in you. Anger brought the truth out. Curtis, what do you say to that, man? Because a lot of times people will say, man, I didn't mean it, man. I was just angry, and they use that, Curtis, as an excuse. But that truth that they feel came out, and now they're trying to put it back in. What do you say to that? Curtis, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I have my phone mute.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, I'm a clinician right here.
Yes, sir.
As a clinician and as a humanitarian, I taught myself to take that truth not lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Because the average person just being able to admit the truth is an accomplishment all within itself.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I won't, I can't speak against that because genuinely that particular person might be coming and saying, look, man, I was mad, man. I spoke out of turn. You know, I done seen in my lifetime being in the street, you know, being in school, the whole nine. I've seen where that truth literally saved the dude's life.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even realize he saved his own life. He's looking at me, like, man, you know, after all said and done, man, thank you, man. And I looked down and said, man, I had nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
You saved your life, it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But it was that true. So, I mean, I get it, though. I get where you're going. Some people use that as an excuse. You know what I mean? But I've seen it in situations where it's in the reverse, where really, you know, this is not an apologetic kind of dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally coming out saying, hey, man, look, man, I botched that. You know what I mean? Like, my anger got the best of me. And that don't mean that there's no consequences and or repercussions that go along with what you did.
Exactly.
But still, those consequences and repercussions wasn't as fluid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't as stringent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As a clinician, you take that and you say, well, if that's your truth, like you said, well, what is it that made you that angry?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is it that made you think that was okay to say or okay to do?
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
how do we get righteous? How do we get righteous from here? Because if you can't explain to me how we're going to get righteous, then you might as well get up and walk away from me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm great to deal with you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good deal.
So,
good. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, brother. Mm-hmm.
No, I don't have nothing else to say. I mean, you know, everybody want to get righteous right here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody want to get righteous, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when you're in error.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know, get righteous. You don't want to disturb your progress. You know.
That's good. That's good. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking about peace right now. We're talking about peace, and everybody say they want peace and they're looking for peace. But Cassandra, if peace came and knocked on the average person's door in midnight or 12 noon in afternoon, and 12 noon in afternoon, Lord Jesus, I'm being redundant. It knocked on the door. Would most people recognize what peace is?
They I won't say they wouldn't recognize it. Whether they would let it in is something different.
Wow.
Because you can recognize peace. You when it's knocking at your door, you can recognize it. It's whether do I want to let it in at this time? Because there are certain circumstances where we're so angry, you know, and if we have to look at why a person is angry. There are different, you know, if are you angry because of a hurt that someone has done to you emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of those get different types of reactions. Because if somebody punched me in my face, they would get one reaction. If somebody, and I'll be totally honest, if you say something that hurts me to the core of my spirit, my soul, you would get. I would probably hurt you quicker with that than I would if you physically punch me. And I've heard people say this, and I believe this myself. I'd rather you hit me than to say certain things to me, because there's certain things you say to me that will send me into orbit, and I want to hurt somebody. You know, so we got to consider, but that peace, man, it's nothing like that. That's why I'm a loner. With all of the people that I interact with on a daily basis, I'm by myself every chance I get. I don't hang out. I spend my time by myself because I know me, and I don't do foolishness. So the best way to handle that is for me to spend my time by myself so that I can stay in control of me.
That's good. Now, what do you say to a person that says, say something to you, that hurtful thing that you're talking about, and they say it, Cassandra, in the midst of an uproar, and they come back to you a couple of days later and say, Cassandra, you know, I just want to apologize. I was just angry. When I said that, I didn't mean it. I was just angry. Cassandra,
I don't know whether that's going to change the ass whipping that I've given them, but I'll accept the apology. I just had that happen. I fought for the first time in almost 30 years several months ago. And I did not regret what I did. I'm telling you right now. And if that person was to say, I forgave them, but if that person was to say that to me again, I would whip their behind again. And I mean that emphatically.
Wow. Leonard, she said it's not gonna undergird the butt cutting she's gonna give. I'm not gonna use the verb she used. I'm gonna say butt cutting.
But she's so truthful, and that's one of the things we teach people. Like, say, for instance, in my walk, I practice nonviolence. I'm not perfect at it, though.
Oh yeah.
That's why I chose not to participate in this last issue. It's because, like, say, for instance, when you're standing on the front line, usually we don't have people opposing us this way. That has happened lately. So I can imagine standing there and you spit on me. I'll probably try to kill you.
Yeah.
So I'm not there yet where Brother Martin was. I'm just not there. Even from the teachings of nonviolence, not something that he came up with. It's a practice. It takes a lot to be nonviolent in the face of violence. That's hard to do for me. So I'll give you another, just be transparent, like with my wife. And my wife, if my wife was talking to other people, I don't want no problem. I'm very easygoing. However, there's a part of me that will address what you force me to. And you know how you tried to be peaceful, but somebody just kept wanting to elevate it. You keep trying to, that's what they call what we trying to teach police to do, de-escalate. So I'm always trying to de-escalate a situation. And then some people who are around me long enough know that, like with Miss Cassandra, you can say anything to me. Doesn't bother me. You say whatever you want. As a matter of fact, half the time if I don't want to hear what you're talking about, I don't even hear you. I've been married 22 years. I'm perfect at it. If I don't want to hear what you're talking about, I can completely dismiss it. You can be standing right there in my face. I'm waiting for you to move. I'm not going, you know, I might just, you know, I say when some people get to laughing, it's a problem. I don't fight because if I start, I enjoy it too much. And I don't like that part about myself. So that's what I'm working on.
I'm with Leonard on that one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Curtis.
I'm with Leonard on that one. Huh?
I say go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'm with Leonard on that one, man. Listen, man, I'm gonna keep it all the way above. I don't put my hand on folks.
Nope.
Because I know that I don't like jail. And if I'm gonna go, I need to go because I made a decision to elevate myself from whatever state of poverty I was in to a greater state. But I'm not going to jail for physically having to straighten you up. You know what I mean? No, man, because I know me. Every my history shows, like sometimes you gotta look at yourself. Yes. My history shows that every time I put my hand on somebody's child, and I'm not talking about chilling, because I don't touch chilling at all. But when I beat all the daylights out of somebody, that's somebody's child now. History shows that every time I get into a physical altercation, I'm the only one that go to jail. That's what my history shows. Now, I don't know about nobody else, but now I have to evaluate that in terms of if I'm going to lose my anger and have my peace unsettled. Because every time, man, I was in Colorado, man, I done had 4 dudes jump on me, man. Guess who went to jail right here? Me. These cats got to walk to their car.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm with Leonard on that, man. No, you got to evaluate. You know, a lot of people don't spend no time evaluating the anger meter. They spend no time evaluating the anger meter. What happens is they wind up sitting in front of Cassandra or myself, and they wind up sitting there boo-hooing the whole while. I didn't mean to do it. I don't know what came over me. You ain't evaluated your anger. Because so in every situation, most of the time, the window might be small, but you had a window where you could have got up and walked away.
Exactly.
You had a window where you could have just looked at whomever it was, said, you know what? You speaking gibberish, man. I'll holler at you later.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't gonna do that.
No, because it's a lot of times it's a pride thing. You know, how you gonna talk to me like that, man? You ain't gonna talk to me like that. Talk to me, and everybody put themselves on this pedestal. You can't talk to me like that. You can't say that to me, and they gonna fight because of that reason.
And you know what such a blessing is? And I showed you all the other day. I am so proud of myself for being able to walk away.
Yeah.
I just walk away. I mean, that's sometimes there's a lot of people that can't do it.
Yeah, a lot of people that can't do it and won't do it.
So walk away. I mean, it's distinct. walk, cease in conversation and everything, and walk away. You have to be able to make a decision to say to yourself, you know what? I don't need to speak to that person ever again.
Exactly.
You have to be resolute in some of the things that you do, because they will save your life. As much as I wanted other friends, I looked around me and seen what was going on. No, I can't be riding 4 deep.
Yeah.
All these things I had to make a decision when I was a kid. Because when you're taught what's actually happening and going on, and no one's lying to you and trying to give you some false sense of security or reality, they teach you how you need to protect yourself, and how you need to make moves, and how you need to come and go, and how you need to treat other people. And you shouldn't look for drama. You shouldn't look for that. A lot of times we can go into our communities and understand where we have these issues with anger management and de-escalating issues. Why you got to be the loudest? Well, I just got to say something. You got to, really? Okay, now it's different. Now what you got to say? With this pistol in your face. Now what you got to say? What do you have to say? Really?
Yeah.
Why we got to do this? You know, you ever been in that situation? Some people love it. They love that drama every day. I used to dog my brother out. I was like, dude, I ain't never seen you in house shoes before. Because he always wears shoes. Because he always, at the drop of a dime, used to be ready to get up to go get in some mischief.
Ready to go.
He was always ready to go. Always ready. That's when you're around that element, everybody ready to go.
Better be on point.
Looking for it, ready. All somebody do got to come in and tell you, hey man, they doing it up at the gas station. You jump in your car and you go up there and do it with them. We got to stop that, man. We have to stop that mentality in our community where you always think that your 2 cents matter.
Yeah.
Like one, you know, the thing got to get the last word.
And that goes back to what I was saying earlier, man. And Cassandra coming to you with this. You ain't gonna say that to me. You can't do that to me. Blase, blase, blase. Everything is about them, and make it so we personalize so many things. We personalize this thing.
Like the N word.
Yeah.
I understand how it hurts some people. So why couldn't those people can't understand why it doesn't hurt me? You can say what you want. I don't. When I hear people, I mean, they really into that. It hurts their feelings, I believe, or you know, maybe someone can explain it better. But I don't have a feeling that goes with that. It's just a word to me. I know who shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
I discipline you for saying it. But actually, it doesn't cause in me a feeling that it causes in some people.
Let's go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what do you say to that?
Yeah, no. No, because you know when y'all were talking just now, I was thinking about the situation where I actually fought this person, right? And if I could have walked away, and I tried because I was in a car with them, and if I could have, and I kept telling the person who was driving, please pull over and let me out. I did. I was doing, listen, Leonard, I was doing my due diligence.
I know you were.
Please pull over. Whatever God is my, and I'm not saying that just to try to make me look like no kind of way good enough, because it wasn't good. But I asked to get out of the car several times. The person would not pull over. No, we're almost there. Let me, because I know me. I was at that point that something was about to break. So just pull over and let me out of the car. I don't care where it was, on the interstate. Let me out. I need to get out. The person would not pull over. And this person that I actually had an encounter with, they kept on like coming at me. And I'm not saying anything. I'm just talking to the person that's driving. Let me out. Please let me out. And then that person said, this certain thing to me one more time. I mean, she said it about 5 or 6 times total.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, listen, that's not true. Don't say that to me. And they said it that, I don't know what happened. I had a total blackout.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, I was whipping the snot out of them in the car. And now the person decides to pull over.
Yeah, too late.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I did my part. I tried to avoid that whole situation. But no, you're not gonna play me like that. I don't. I ain't there yet. I'm like Leonard. I ain't Dr.
I
King,
ain't there.
and I ain't Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't Dr. King, and I ain't Jesus. I ain't there yet.
Exactly.
What I love about Miss Cassandra is when she said that, because that's one thing about how my mother used to be.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, very peaceful person, but it was almost like a light switch. When she was done with you,
It's
oh
over.
my goodness, you don't want it. She draw a line in the sand, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing but problems coming next.
Mm-hmm.
And when Miss Cassandra, only black women I've heard say this, before I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I'm silly.
Yeah.
So ever since I was a kid, I got stuck on black women saying, and before I knew it. That means they went into some type of state.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. They just started just tearing your tail out. And they don't even claim nothing about it.
Exactly.
Before I knew it. Now, how you do it before you knew it? That's a whipping for you,
it's
man.
Called a blackout. It's called a blackout, Leonard. You have a blackout. It looks like I had a blackout.
Boy, before I knew it, I was getting up on the floor. Before I knew it, I was getting up. How you get down now?
So is a blackout, so the blackout, you still doing what you want in that type of blackout.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. See?
Because that's the only time you hear it is right before, when a black woman explaining why she had to whip your tail.
Before I knew
it. It's before I knew it. My mother said that. So before I knew it, I was on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before I knew it, I would have my hands around their throat.
Mm.
And it was so funny to me. Me and my wife talk about it all the time, about that phrase, before I knew it, because I find it so funny.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mess with nobody that don't know what they doing. You need to leave that person alone.
Hey, look, hey, Leonard, hey, you might not want to mess with that one. No, don't.
Remember, my man that used to sing, "How Does It Feel?" What's his name? Man, I love to hear that dude sing. D'Angelo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he got this song called S. Well, anyway, it's like he wakes up out of it. Why am I wearing handcuffs? Because he found his partner messing around with his woman. The name of the song is MF. That's the name of the song.
Good Lord.
It's the story about how he caught them cheating.
And
then all of a sudden he was in handcuffs. But all that in between,
they know nothing about
it. It was a blackout. It was a blackout.
It was a blackout.
Oh, hey Curtis. We ready to go to Badger as well. Badger, good morning. Curtis, what do you say to that, man? Before I knew it. Have you ever heard that before?
Rockabye baby.
Wow.
That's all I'm gonna say to it. Rockabye baby. Let me tell you something, man. Listen. When we was doing in the street, I'm gonna keep it all the way honest. You know what was some of the most thorough killers that I've ever met in my life?
Who that?
Wasn't dudes.
It
wasn't dudes, man.
Yeah.
If you push a woman to that point and she black out, I really hope you're ready for what's gonna come. Because brother, that thing coming at so many angles. That thing coming at so many angles, man, that either way it goes, as a man, I'm gonna come out looking like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say right here is rock about baby.
Exactly. And I'm gonna go to an old school song, y'all, and I'm gonna say this part, and all y'all gonna know this song immediately. Not immediately, but immediately. Here I am laid in this hospital, bandaged from feet to head, in a state of shock, just that much from being dead. Didn't think a woman would do something like this to me. Didn't think the girl had the nerve. Here I am. I guess action speaks louder than words. It's a thin line, brother. It's a thin line. Patrick, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Another awesome day. Great Spirit's gifted us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're talking about peace. What do you think about peace? If peace came knock on most people's door, Badger, would they be able to recognize what peace is?
I guess it would depend on the person.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people would, and other people would just stomp all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing about if you look at the people that are just after, their own pocketbooks,
Mm-hmm.
their piece is going to look different than other people's piece.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of perspective of what version of piece you're talking about and who you're talking about. So I think it's entirely dependent on the individuals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I just listened to what everyone was saying, so I was just wow. I mean, so I don't know. That's a tough one, man.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, didn't think a woman would do something like this to me. Didn't think the girl had the nerves. It happens all the time because and R. Kelly said a lot of people don't like to reference R. Kelly, but his music was great. You can't take anything away from his music. But he said when a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you could do about it. When a woman's fed up, ain't nothing you could do. Cassandra?
Yeah, I mean, I don't promote that. Y'all, please don't get me wrong. I do not promote, angry behavior at all. And I counsel people that deal with anger issues. I've had to deal with anger issues, but I do not promote that type of behavior. Because if you can be at peace with somebody, be at peace with that person, right?
Yes.
I mean, that thing. If you can walk away from something, walk away from it. I know that there are times when, like the situation I was talking about, and that's not even an excuse because I could have jumped out the car and rolled out the car while the car was driving. I could have done that. I could have just opened the door while the car was running down the interstate at 40, 50 miles an hour, and I wouldn't have to hit the person. But to sit there, I wasn't able to do it. I just wasn't able to do it. It was like, no, you about to get hurt right now. Because this, I can't, y'all got me trapped up in here. I can't get out. The person won't let me out. But I hated that. I hated that because that's not who I am now. That's who I used to be. I was a butt whipper back in the day. And my temper was like paper thin. You didn't push me because I was going to come at you. I was quiet. I didn't bother nobody. But if you ever got me backed in the corner or I felt I was backed in the corner, I was going to be looking for your blood. That was all. We have grown. Many of us have grown. And I say that, like I said, after almost 30 years, that was the first time. That person had to really push me to a point. And if you guys would just give me 1 second to get something off of my chest, and I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay.
I watched yesterday some videos for a child that I'm getting. I think I told you guys I'm getting ready to get a foster care child, and I was allowed to see the videos of her abuse by her stepmother, well, by her adopted mother. Guys, when I tell you the brutality of what this woman did to this child, the the this child has marks all over her blood, all over her body. This woman not only emotionally abused this child, but she would punch her in the face. She would kick her. I mean, I wept so much watching that video. So I'm definitely nonviolence is my way. It's ways that she could have done that other than to abuse that child to that extent. Now the child is emotionally and physically damaged. So, I definitely don't want to see people handling their anger with anybody in a violent way. And I don't condone it. I don't condone it under any circumstances.
You know what, Cassandra, and I hope you don't mind my saying this, but God has given you an assignment. We talked about assignments. We talked about assignments a couple of days ago, maybe a part of it yesterday. But I think God has given you an assignment, and she is certainly a part of it, because not a lot of people could deal with a situation like that. Because truth of the matter, right now, she's very damaged. She's damaged in a lot of different ways. She's damaged. And so God has given you the responsibility, the skill, the know-how, and the expertise and the patience. Because it's gonna take a lot of patience too. He's giving you that responsibility to go in and to undo a lot of that what other people has done to her. And so I want to tell you here, and I can say it to you without hesitation. If you need me for whatever reason, if you need me on this journey for whatever reason, just to be a listening ear, I ain't got to say nothing. I just on the phone and listen. Give me a call. Give me a call.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Because that's a heck of responsibility that you have before you. But I think he's equipped you to be ready. I think
Of course, we stuck. Badger.
Oh, I was saying that she can more than welcome to reach out to me too.
And I think,
That's
a lot of people deal, and I'm very big on, I get upset when people are having children and bringing them into less than situations. And I'm very particular about that because of what happens to children when they're born into foolishness and drama and irresponsibility. And then they're neglected and taken advantage of. And this is like Miss Cassandra said, when she was able to watch what happened to that young girl.
yeah.
That is so sad that adults do these types of things.
Yeah.
And that we have to, it's not going to be easy, and feelings are going to be hurt. War is not always done with guns and knives and things like that. Sometimes it's just the truth of the matter, and you have to do what you have to do. Like, say for instance, no, we got to separate this child from this family. We
Yeah.
have to, because what's the benefit of them being there if they just a punching bag?
Yeah. 100%.
And
I wish that, to me, it just reminds me of my past.
right, that's why I was asking you, because I know you've been through life where a mother was
Yeah.
unstable.
Very unstable. Um, yeah. I was listening to her stuff, and I was also starting to tear up because, if I had the means in the way, I would have probably took the kid too and helped them, because I don't want to see anyone go through anything like I have or what those kids have. However, I also acknowledge that sometimes we're born in those situations that have the experience, so we can help others.
Wow.
So I'm sorry, I'm trying not to get too emotional on that one.
Good deal, good deal. And we're back. We got kicked out there for a second, but we're actually back. Then we have Friday with us as well, so we're gonna keep this going. As a matter of fact, what we're gonna do, well, we had Friday, we just lost her, but we're gonna go into our topic for today. We're gonna transition over to our topic for the day, trying to get everything. But while we do that, Cassandra, what's on your heart? Anything that's on your heart about the situation before we move on to our topic of the day?
And on top of all of the other things that this child is going through, guys, and I think I mentioned it yesterday. Her father, who was quadriplegic, died 2 days ago. So now we have to deal with the emotional loss that she's going to be experiencing on top of all of the abuse and everything else. So this is going to be hard, and I need everybody praying for this child.
Absolutely. And Cassandra, I say it all the time, and I hope you know, and I'm quite sure you do. We're family here. We're all family here. So I'm sure I could speak for all of us. If you need us for whatever reason, just reach out to us. We're right here. And like I said, we understand the responsibility that goes into this. And we're here to support you. We're here to support her as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Friday, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Hi, good.
You know what we're gonna do with Friday?
Nothing.
I'm gonna get some background.
Friday be Friday. That's the blessing.
Exactly. I'm gonna get some background noise. Friday, I think you turn your thing down. I think we'll get a background feedback from you.
Is that better?
Let me see. Check. Yeah.
Check. One, two, 1, 2.
Hold on. Let me make sure that it's your line. Hold on for a second. Pause your line there. See. Yeah. It's definitely your line, Friday. And so we're getting some feedback.
I'll be sure to be quick in my responses. Then it's probably my job.
Okay.
You know, it's hard to quiet to hear me. No, I'm just playing. I'm teasing.
Leonard. Let me jump over. We're gonna hold on. We're gonna mute you for a second, and I'm gonna jump over to our topic for the day. Before I do that, somebody says something here. To Cassandra. Cassandra, feel free to message me anytime. So somebody said, feel free to message them anytime.
That was me.
Okay. So we definitely have people that's in support of you, Cassandra, and what you're doing. Now we're gonna get to our
Thank you, Badger.
We're gonna get to our topic for the day, and wow, it really lines up to what we were just talking about. And Cassandra, I'm gonna start off with you. Majority of the time, when somebody is hurting, they're going through something, and they're at a very vulnerable place in their life. Are they able to explain their pain? Our topic of the day is: can you explain your pain? What do you say to that, Cassandra?
Let me tell you, it's hard sometimes when people have been in abusive situations, whether the pain is physical, spiritual, emotional. Sometimes you can't even explain how bad it hurts you. I mean, just think about it. If you've ever been, let's say, go back when we were in love for the first time, we really knew we were in love, and something happened. People kill themselves over stuff like that. Think about it. What kind of pain do you have to be in that you want to take your life because somebody doesn't want to be with you? Now, some people probably will never experience that because they don't care, like whatever. But there is a pain that comes from loss that is so overwhelming for some people that they almost want to die because of that loss.
Wow.
That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of pain.
And you know,
that's a lot of pain.
It absolutely. And I've heard people say this, and I've never understood this. I've never, you know, and I don't want to laugh or nothing like that, or make little of it, because it's serious. It's very serious. I've heard people say, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't live without them. I just can't live without them. And they could be 30 or 40 years old and they only know the person for 2 years. Hold on, you did pretty good before you met them. But they get so so caught up and so engulfed in this person that they really feel, Cassandra, as though they can't live without this person. I can't live without them, and they want to kill themselves.
Yeah, I mean it's true. I can't, ain't nothing else to say about that. It happens. I deal with people like that every day, and I hear them, male and female, and it's the saddest thing that because they mean that they're in that kind of pain.
Yeah,
it's not something they just making up. They are really in that kind of pain.
Wow. Friday, what do you say to that? Can you explain your pain? What do you say to that?
I say that when you're in pain, especially fresh pain, no, you cannot. Because to even attempt to explain it facilitates even more pain. And so it's often not until a great deal of time has gone by where you get to a place of some type of settlement within yourself to at least handle it, that you can begin to talk about it. And then I think there's some healing that comes into play at that point in time on a different and deeper level. But to explain your pain, because even now I can think over some things that were very painful for me that is difficult to articulate, because on one hand, you want to be able to share it in a way where people can understand it, but can they? Can they really understand it? They may have some point of reference, but they can't. And to simplify it, because I'm referring to some very extreme types of pain, but to simplify it, it's like trying to explain to a male what it's like to have or experience menstrual cramps. They can understand it from a sideline standpoint. Maybe their sister, mother, or wife have dealt with some really extreme PMS types of situations, and so as a co-helper in that, they can see that they're in some type of extreme discomfort or pain. But to know that pain, or to try to explain to them what that feels like, it's very hard to find a point of reference, because it's something that they'll just never experience for themselves in that way. You just find the next closest thing to try to give them a point of reference to it. So it's very difficult to explain pain, or to try to share that in a way for somebody to understand, because although there's a reference in death, I'm sure we've all experienced it to some degree, of someone in our lives of dying, because of not knowing what that individual meant to them, or to you, for your situation, whomever it may be. It's there's that there's pain, but the level and the type of pain can't be explained, because it's different for everybody.
Absolutely. Let's keep this thing going. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Can you explain your pain?
It took me time and learning that in meeting a couple of people before I learned that it was okay to talk about it. So for most of my life, I never talked about it. It was just something that just stayed in me and messed with me a lot, because it felt like anyone that I did talk to judged me over it. So it's only been like the past 2-3 years that I've really opened up and started to process the emotions involved with all of it, and learning that it's okay to feel it. It wasn't my fault, and all that kind of stuff that comes with those kinds of things. And that's something that I've also, like, being around other people, like, I was aware of what was what, just didn't know how to let it go.
Yeah.
Because especially trauma. Trauma can be a trap if you don't have the right help. Because you can be triggered and not even know it, and you're being rude or you're shutting down like a deer in headlights and just going along with things and not even realize you're doing it until someone points it out. I've seen all different versions of it. I developed a maladaptive skill of making myself look bigger to make people stay away from me.
Wow.
So it's just developed into this crazy mess of emotions and maladaptive skills and things like that because of the things I experienced growing up. And anyone that's listening, I just want to make sure that if you were in situations either growing up or car crashes or whatever, that stuff messes with you more than you realize. It dealing with racial issues or discrimination or any of that. You deal with too much of it and it's going to mess with you, even if you don't realize it does.
Good deal.
So just keep it in mind and seek help.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard,
Yes.
can most people explain their pain? Can you explain your pain?
Well, I'm not really a big proponent of that because I believe you feel pain. You don't really explain it. You feel pain. And if you can find out where that pain is coming from, you deal with where that pain is coming from or what is causing it, as opposed to like the feeling itself. You can go on and on and on, and great books that are written do this well. They come up with 10 ways to say one thing. If you say you're hurting, that's fine enough. It hurts. Leave it at that.
Even the doctors sometimes, Leonard, and this is a different way of looking at it. When you go in there and you're in pain, he said, explain to me, describe your pain from 1 to 10. What is it from 1 to 10? What pain are you having? And if you say a 5, he's okay. But if you say like a 8, 9, or 10, if you say 8, 9, 10, he's going to evaluate you a little differently because he knows that you're in excruciating pain. That's just a way of explaining your pain. The
And you
level
have to
of
know pain to compare it to anything. Some people have different triggers, different thresholds. Some people can take certain pain, and to them, it's not much. Like, say, for instance, if you've lived with pain for a long time, and somebody asks you it feels the way it feels, but what I can't do is I can't think about it all day long. I can't contribute thought to pain because it takes so much energy away. So then you're left with a mental struggle and a physical one. So, you have to separate the two. That what Cassandra was talking about. That's one thing I'll shut my mouth about. When it comes to that love thing or what you all were talking about, ain't nobody in this world that important. No one. I can't imagine people that give themselves into situations and it's almost enslaving yourself. How can you just met someone and be so in love with them?
And tell me, I can't live without him, man. Please.
Yeah, that to me, I don't even want to be in a room with people like that.
Exactly. Let me go 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. The phone lines are open. Give us a call. We definitely love to hear from you. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning? Toya, you there? Okay, Toy, you may be having some issues with it.
Let me correct that, Raheem.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I said room. I didn't mean room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in. I don't like to be in the company of people like that.
Got you. Toy, you with a T. Toy, you with a T. How do you explain?
Yes.
How do you explain? Can most people? Let me change it up. Can most people explain their pain? How do you explain your pain?
You said their pain?
Yeah, the pain.
PAIN?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I mean, some people can. Not everybody knows how to express themselves. So I think that some people can, and some people can't. Normally the pain normally starts when you're younger,
Mm-hmm.
and you normally act out, and most people just don't see it. And by the time you get older, your acting out is different. You may go from being one way in the house, being disobedient, doing things that you never used to do. That's a sign when you're young, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we start getting 16, 17, we pick and choose different things. Like for me, my pain was more handled from a promiscuous lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't a promiscuous lifestyle, it was that drug world lifestyle. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I dealt with my pain. But I didn't know that that's what I was doing until I got older. You know what I'm saying? So oftentimes people don't express it. We may say what happened,
mm-hmm.
but we always trying to walk around like, oh, that don't bother me. Oh, I'm over it now. Oh, I'm this, over that. But you steady self-destructing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have no confidence in yourself.
Mm.
You're not aiming high. You know what I'm saying? You're settling with a life that can definitely be better, and then you try to tell yourself, "Oh, I don't want better." Yeah, you don't want better because your mind is already feeling like, again, at least for me,
Mm-hmm.
they hurt me, so I might as well hurt myself.
Wow.
I need to match that hurt because I'm not going to get away with nobody hurting me like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
and no, so we don't express our pain. But if you know what to look for, if take a couple counseling classes, psychology classes, but just pay attention. You can see people when they hurt.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing okay, man. Congratulations and welcome to a beautiful new day.
Hey, congratulations to you as well, sir. Can you express your pain, Rico?
See, you changed it up. You went from explain to express.
Because
those are two different things. I don't know if you intentionally meant to do that. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, you can express it, but everybody can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can, and the possibility is there for you to express how you feel,
mm-hmm.
what it feels like. And then some people can explain where their pain came from, and some can't. They just know, you know what, man, I'm hurting. I don't know. It was so much pain, I don't know why I'm hurting.
Mm-hmm.
But see, you know what really the thing is if they did know how to express their pain, is anybody truly listening?
Yeah.
See, you could hear somebody's pain and still not really understand that they need some help.
Yeah.
They need some very intensive help.
Mm-hmm.
Some that might take some quality time, some sacrifice if you really want to, help them. Now it goes back to what I was sort of listening to what Cassandra was saying earlier. I heard what everybody was saying and they commended her, but you know what's still forgotten in that is what she said she saw on that video. So I know out of all that everybody said, Cassandra still has in her mind what she saw on that video and what that child feels like.
Mm-hmm.
So then people say, well, you know what, Cassandra, if you need some help, I'm here. Reach out to me. We supposed to be reaching out. She ain't supposed to reach out to us. She got her hands full.
Mm-hmm.
But see, kind words and kind gestures, that happens a lot. And we don't really understand that that's what we do now as human beings. When really and truly, if we really know what type of help she's going to need, she shouldn't have to reach out to us because her hands are going to be full. We should reach out to her because we know now we have heard this. Are we truly listening to what she just said? Can you imagine what she saw on that video to feel what she feels?
Mm-hmm.
So now imagine what type of time and effort and quality time she is fixing to be able to have to be able to put into this child, whether it's foster or adopted. And then people will say, not just on the station, but this is what people do all across the world, all across the United States. Give me a call, reach out to me if you need me. You know she gonna need some help. Call her when you sincere and genuine and reach out once a week. Get on her nerves. Let her know, because see, she will know then that I do have somebody to talk to. See, when people are in pain, sometimes they have people that they express it to, but the people they express it to still don't call and check back on them. So imagine these children that don't have DCF workers or CPS workers that check on them after they clock out because they job over. I know the pain. I've seen what they experience, but I'm off the clock now, and I'm going to get in trouble. And plus, I ain't getting paid to come by at 8 or 9 o'clock just to ride by and see if these children might be outside or getting touched on. Let me see what the traffic look like around this house. Because they waiting on the children to reach out. The parents ain't fixing to. They already done learn to adapt and cope and maintain the way that they do in their sick way on their children. So now the children got to find a way to reach out, because ain't nothing in place for anybody to reach out to the children. That ain't our mindset.
Absolutely. Goddess, can you explain your pain? Good point, Rico. Can you explain your pain?
Rico did such an excellent job, because I done been in pain before in my life a couple of times. You really can't explain a person's pain, but you can see their reactions from the pain. Everybody's reactions are different, especially if you know them. I know I've been in pain, and if anybody knows me and they come into my house and they see that my living room, dining room is all messed up, that's like a do not touch area. You know what I'm saying? Unless you coming in to sit down and we're having a nice drink, conversation or something like that. But my living room, dining room is immaculate. I have a sitting room. I have a rec room. So if you come in and you see my living room, dining room, there's a problem. I'm just using that as an example. Some people utilize and express their pain like through Columbine. They've been through pain. They going through pain. They've been talked about so bad. They not part of the in crowd. You got police officers that are actually in pain because they have been bullied for so long, and they utilize their ways so many different ways. So pain is, boy, this is a tough topic. This is a tough one, because pain is being seen in all different kind of ways. But what I do say is, once you love yourself and you love God, ain't nothing you can't go through. There's nothing you cannot go through. And we do not take the time out to explain death either. We don't take the time out to understand death, because if we are our vessel, and that's all we are, a vessel that God has placed a spirit in. So when that vessel dies, that spirit still remains, and they don't explain that to others. That person is still with you. I don't know if anybody's ever had confirmation before, but I've had confirmation. So when you have confirmation like that, then you know that you need to continue on, because you want to reach that journey. You want to be in that light. You want that light to shine on you. You want to continue to be blessed and be able to be in the journey of the loved ones if something happens to you. So I think learning to love yourself is key.
Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Let me go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. What's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no, that's definitely right. Hey, it is what it is. Some people can live in this world trapped full of pain and don't even know that they're not supposed to be like that. I'm gonna give you an example. I got a young lady at work, probably just turned 21. She took them out. Well, first I started, I was like, hey, listen, you kind of small, just like me. But that let me know you're not an issue. You're not eating right. Now take care of yourself. She's like, oh yeah, my mom just said third. But anyway, when we start talking, she got some issues going on at home. So she's got a lot of tattoos. She just does little things like to make you say something to her. I know what this is. This is pain. So we're having a conversation the other day, and she's like, yeah, my parents, they just kind of beat me till I bleed. So I just don't play with them. It's a lot I got to go through at home. I said, well, baby girl, listen, you got people that's homeless, you got this, you got that people made it through. So don't use that for an example. And then I asked her, I said, well, would you rather be? Would you rather be beaten until you bleed, or would you rather be touched in private places? She stopped. She said, oh, I'd rather be beaten until I bleed. I said, well, let me tell you this, baby. I do apologize for the fools before me, but that was abuse. And that's not what's supposed to happen in the home. But the only way you can break that cycle is if you stand up and refuse to be like that. You knew in your heart as a young child that wasn't right. These are my parents, this, that, and the third. But parents are adults. So if you don't want to continue and carrying on this pain, living in this pain, you better let it go and make some changes and decisions and know and understand that just because your parents taught you like that don't mean they was right about what they was doing all the time. So I'm apologizing for my era and older. And she looked at me and she was like, you know what, Miss Toya? You're right. I don't have to do that, this, that, and third. Honey, this girl been eating a salad every week, eating something green. She always comes to me for conversation. And yesterday we talked with somebody else. I said something else, so young kids don't listen. And she said, well, Miss Toya, I listen to you. And she laid her head on my shoulder. So many of us are operating and living in a world that's built and come from pain, and we think that it's supposed to be like that. And we don't know it's not. That's why sometimes I take this to conversation. You don't know what God got me going through, from being molested at 9, from everything that I went through. I don't know why he allowed it, but it made me me. You understand what I'm saying? So we don't know what God is doing. We don't know what kind of training stage some of these people are in when they're going through their pain. But you should be able to recognize it, especially us as adults. You should be able to recognize it and explain to them who they are, no matter where they are. You ain't got to wait for CPS. You need to know that that's abuse.
Yes.
And if you need to get away, there are things that you need to do. And if you don't want to get away, I understand, because you're parents. We need to have these conversations because we know these kids are hurt, or these people are hurt. Because most hurt people, and most of the ones that don't, they're aiming high for the sky.
Exactly. Wow, that's good. Friday, what's on your heart?
I mean, everything thus far is so true. Even with the shift in the topic of the conversation, if you know pain, like what was just stated, you should be able to recognize it, even if you don't know the exact feeling per se. The little signs of it, and sometimes it is subtle because of the fact that a lot of pain has been normalized. And I guess just to slide the conversation a little bit further, a little bit more, is like Toya with the T said, or exemplified in her comments, when you do recognize it, don't be afraid to address it. Don't be afraid, because a lot of times that individual is wanting somebody to see them. And so as she was talking, I was thinking back to some of the recklessness that I was doing, just because I wanted somebody to see me. You know? And so a lot of times some of this is so they can see it. And then I thought about a close friend of mine who unfortunately passed away due to domestic violence. A lot of times she was doing things. Once I was hearing about some of the things that she was going through, she would go to the store and knock everything off the counter and off the aisles and make a scene, because she wanted help. She felt like it's better for her to get locked up than to go back into the environment, because she didn't have any other way. But people saw the behavior and not necessarily understanding that that was a call out, you know, and unfortunately, by the time I got involved into the situation, it became something else very quickly. But yeah, so to that point, I'm dragging, sorry, but to that point, those behaviors and those actions a lot of times is just like, see my pain. And so I would say, don't be afraid to address it when you do recognize it.
Okay, good deal. Good. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now? Cassandra? Cassandra may be away for a second. Cassandra may be away for a second. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Yeah, man, that's sort of deep what Friday was just talking about. You know, it's been different times. I probably said it on here that you got this diagnosis that they call attention deficit disorder, and they say that comes from having a lack of ability to focus and pay attention. But it's another side of that I diagnosed. I ain't a scientist, or I'm not accredited about being able to get credit for this, but my observation is two sides of it. Some people in pain need attention and they don't get it, so they act out. And most of human society wants attention and recognition. When people are going viral, some of them are not in pain, but they're still looking for attention, so they'll do whatever to get it. So I also think that's a lack of receiving attention. That's attention deficit disorder too, but it's not being addressed. And so, you know, we actually contribute to it. Going back to like what I was saying with Cassandra, we tell people to reach out, but we don't really listen. So I saw a video yesterday. This girl was crying, talking about how hard it was to be a single mother and how everybody just kept telling her to be better and be strong and this and that. And it goes back to like what Goddess was saying earlier in Toya. You went through things when you were young and you were brought up the wrong way, and you adapted and received logic that was really illogical. And now you didn't know how to respond to death or what it was going to take to be a mother, or the consequences behind having sex. You were just being promiscuous and reacting and being impulsive. So she was crying out, man. And I saw the pain in her eyes. And I said, man, she's serious. But when you looked under the comments as she was going live, you see the little smiley faces going up, man, people laughing at her. Should have had a baby. Should have kept your legs closed. That comes with being a mother. That's why you should wait. And it's true. This is one of the reasons why you should wait and mature before you have children, because you might not be mentally ready. And if you ain't careful, you'll take out all your anger and frustration on that baby. And so I see that in her eyes, and she was crying out. She was like, man, F this. I'm about to give it up. Y'all be saying this and y'all be saying that, but y'all just don't know it's hard. And I'm like, you know what? She might not even be complaining because she just want to go out and live life, but she might not know how to get this baby to stop crying, because sometimes a baby will wake up every 30 minutes. And so I thought about all the laughter and all the persecution they gave her, and they weren't listening to her for real. But in these same situations, when you start finding the baby dead, then all of a sudden, where was her support system? She was crying out for help. Pray for that poor baby and that young mother. Y'all just don't understand. What she was telling y'all, y'all didn't understand. And the minute she was telling y'all, she was expressing her pain. She was explaining where it was coming from. Everybody was telling her, well, you should have did better. You should have kept your legs closed. But yeah, we still know how hard it is raising a child. We know how you don't get into sleep for like the first 2 months. You think that baby going to sleep, you think it to yourself, oh, finally, peace. You be like, oh man, am I ever gonna get into sleep? She going crazy. I saw it, man, and then out of all the humiliation and laughing that people was doing, I saw that, man. You know what? This baby might be in danger. She needs some help for real. She's really crying out for help, and she was on the World Wide Web crying out to anybody
that will listen.
Would think to say, you know what? Let me go over here and knock on her door. Matter of fact, I might have to knock on her door every day because she wasn't ready. She was not prepared for this right here, and she about to lose it. But guess who's gonna suffer the most? She might end up in prison, or she might kill herself. But that innocent little baby They can't reach out to nobody and say, hey, y'all, my mama keeps slapping me. Baby can't speak, period. Only thing the baby can do is whine, whine, whine.
Yeah.
But that baby can't say, hey, y'all. Every time I go to sleep and I wake up hungry, she get mad because I wake up and she slapped me across my little 5-day-old head. Ain't nobody reaching out, but they know that she going through it.
Exactly. And see that, and that's the sad reality right there, man, because a lot of times you and you was right when you said that earlier. People say certain things but not put the work in. And so it's very important that we also put the work in. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you know, I'm just listening, and I'm listening because I don't have these feelings. So I'm listening.
Okay. Good deal. Goddess? Goddess, you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to really look at some things and really reflect on some things that maybe I've missed within my community or within my, circle of folks. And, I know my daughter's best friend, she continued having babies by guys that don't really love her. And she reached out to ask us to take in one of the babies, or because she's homeless, she didn't want to listen from the beginning. I don't know. It's like sometimes you can help a person too much. I think it's to a point in life. I work with homeless, and I think it's at a point where sometimes it becomes a game to them. Sometimes you can help a person too much, and they got to hit rock bottom in order to be able to get up and swim. And that's just I've seen it. I've seen people where I've taken them completely off the streets and basically done everything possible, and their appreciation is just not there at times. They get up and to go to do what you need to do for yourself. And some things you just can't teach people that. Either they're gonna have to hit rock bottom and start having to do for themselves. And I know that I come from, I sit back with my own children and I look at, am I doing too much for them? Do I need them to, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to hit certain bottom parts in order to get up and say, hey, I really need to check myself and start doing for myself. I think that's just so important. I'm not saying that I have no feelings for everybody needs help. Don't get me wrong. But I think everybody that needs help, you got to be trying to want to help yourself.
Do you think sometime in helping them, like with the young lady that you see, and I don't know her, and I'm certainly not talking about her specifically, but I'm talking about the situation that she's in, that's having all these babies by all these different men. Do you think if somebody keep taking those babies in, it's pretty much co-signing for her to go out there and just continue in that cycle, and she's not taking the responsibility? And like I said, I don't know her, so I'm not talking about her personally.
Right. I feel that she was one that needed to learn how to love herself. She grew up with love. She grew up in a household that was love. I know this for a fact. You know what I'm saying? But she still never encompassed love for herself. So when you reach out and you have love for others, or this guy says, hey, I love you, you know what I'm saying? She feels like, okay, well, he loves me. No, he never did. And they ain't never been around for the first child, but you're going to lay up with him again and get a second one. That's a continuous cycle out here.
Exactly. And it is unfortunate, but it's real. It happens all the time in every city. You know, I don't care if you're big city, small little town. It happens. It really does happen. Badger, what's on your heart?
Man, I spent most of my life just having people say they want to help, and the moment I start talking, they don't care. It's all fake. So, or man up, just don't let it bother you, and they walk off. you know. And one of the things I've realized is a lot of people either are in denial with the things that they've experienced, or they honestly don't care about another human being. Not truly. So I think there are certain people that are chosen to help others, and there are other people that either don't answer the call, or that's just not part of who or what they are. So I've only found a handful for me to be able to talk to and better myself. And it's hard because I have a lot of confusion in my mind and things like that, and you know, and these, you know, dealing with new realizations every day, you know, and a lot of it came from the abuse I got from home. So, and now that, you know, my back's all messed up and everything else, you know, I'm dealing with multiple different kinds of pain. You know, so every time we talk about certain topics or people bring up, you know, traumatic events and things like that, you know, I process my emotions. So, and sometimes I end up becoming aware of something that I wasn't aware of before. So it's very interesting to me, some people's point of view on these kinds of matters. But like I said again, I guess if it's not their calling, then it's not their calling. So can you really be mad at the people that aren't able to help? And there are some people that it's better just to let them know that you're there if they need you than it is to push it on them. So like every situation needs to be weighed, because there's some people that are dealing with things and they want to try to do it on their own for whatever reason they're there, but just letting them know, and then maybe do reach out and just say, you know, how are you? Just to strike up a conversation. You know. But you have to be careful when approaching those kinds of things.
And you can tell a lot by the response, because sometimes they can say I'm okay, but the way they say it and the tone in which they say it will tell you something totally different. Cassandra, are you back with us?
Yeah, I am. And Badger hit a good point. I remember this was many years ago. There was a girl at my church, and you know, she would always, her and her daughter would come in. They would always look so nice, but I could tell there was something wrong. I don't know. I guess I just do this so your spirit, you just know something is wrong. So one day it was like, tell her, give her your number and tell her to call you, you know, if she needs you. And when I do that with people, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'm just not saying it. I mean it. If I tell you, reach out, you can call me. People call me anytime at night or day. It doesn't matter. I'm going to answer the phone. So she called me about a week and a half after that. She called and she said, Ms. Cassandra, I hate to ask you this. She said, but I cannot take care of my daughter right now. I can't even take care of myself. And her daughter was maybe 12 at the time, 12, 13. And she says, I feel like I'm losing it. Can you just take her for a little while for me? And guess what? I took that child. I think she stayed with me for about 4 months, about 3 or 4 months. And it was okay, because you know what? The child needed a break from the abuse that she was giving. And she didn't mean to be abusive. But she was in so much pain. She didn't know how, you know what I'm saying? The only person around her was the daughter. So she lashed out at her. And so she went into counseling. I kept the daughter for about 4 months. And after that, her and her daughter had the most beautiful relationship, and her and I remained friends until she died a couple of years ago. I'm just saying, sometimes, and everybody won't do what I do.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to, because that may, like Badger said, that may not be their calling. I was chosen to do what I do. And so for me to bring somebody into my home, whether it's a foster care child, whether it's somebody that just needs some time, sometimes mothers just need time to get themselves together. Exactly. I'm willing to do that rather than see that child go into the system.
And that's good. And that's good. And like you said, not everybody could do that, man. And not everybody have the gifts and the talents and the skills to do that, because it takes a very special kind of person to be able to step up in a situation like that and do those things. Let me go to Toya with a T, and after that, Tucson, come to you. Toya with a T, what's on your heart?
Yeah, no, kudos to Cassandra, man, because
absolutely.
That's showing it takes a village to raise a child. See, you got to be careful, because even your family members are touching folks. So we got to be leery with everyone that feel like, let me step in and intervene, because you just never know. You cannot make assumptions on what somebody will not do, whether it's their real parent, family members, or somebody that says, hey, I'm here to help. But the key thing we're talking about is these signs of pain. If you got someone in the presence of someone there in pain, you're going to see it. You ever seen a woman in an unhappy relationship? She looks like champagne. And, we all need to breathe. It's not about just parents. I used to be biased because I was single. And to an extent, it's like, yeah, well, parents, single people this and single people that, we ain't got no worries. But that's not true. We get depressed too. We got worries too. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that even single people need a break from their pain. So I know a parent needs a break from their pain. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it might be a couple of boogers that don't deserve a break from no pain, like the deadbeat dad or the deadbeat mom. But you need to break the pain for it. You need to be in pain. You got to be real, real wise with why some people are in pain. Because sometimes we do it to ourselves. You ain't gonna never not have no pain if you a deadbeat parent and you walk around here ain't trying to take care of your kid. You can have all the money in the world. You're gonna be trying to kill yourself on the inside, drinking, drugging, and everything else. Or it don't even need drugs. God's so good, He gets your mind because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So we got to be real wise when we look at pain. Because I know some of us right now can look at some people and say, see, that's why they're going through what they're going through. And we know that what they're going through is painful. But why? Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So we know what pain is. We got to look for it. And then we got to analyze the why. And then you need to know how to strike. Because let me tell you something. If God told you to do something and your pain is causing the whole boat pain, you got to go overboard. If your pain caused you to get in the belly of a fish stomach, that's your pain. You're going to be in that fish by yourself, because I didn't get that memo from the Lord. Sometimes we just got to get back on track. But we got to be able to notice it so we can know what's the next best move to make. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. Tucson, good having you back, brother. We asking the question, can you explain your pain? Can you explain your pain? Tucson, what do you say to that? Tucson, you there?
I was mute. I've been numb so long till it's hard to explain. This is what I mean by that. You ever heard a person say it is what it is?
Yes.
And you don't feel that? Not no more. Take for instance as a unfortunate to some, just maybe just me as a people. Depression not depression is when there's a lack of. Some people panic when there's a lack of. We've been dealing with a lack of so long, then the lack of is normal. So to explain the pain, not that I'm content with it, but I am content. And that's just me. I mean, got family issues, got other issues, got health issues. I hurt when I tie my shoes. just saying.
Lord Jesus.
So I have to adjust and try to figure out how to get my foot to meet my hands halfway. Does that make any sense?
Lord, Lord.
I'm out of time. I'm out of time.
Okay, so you want to?
But can I say this before you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank God for people like Cassandra that does not just sit back and watch folks just suffer and come up with the reason why they suffer, and they say they ought to deal with it. Patience is a virtue.
Yes, sir.
And not only that, we ought to intercede and we ought to have a long suffering about ourselves with people, because you don't know why a person is lashing out at whoever. But to be able to work out a strategy to help both parties is a unique gift.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go back to let me see who I hadn't touched in a minute. Goddess, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What's on your heart, sis?
I'm just sitting back listening to everybody. I mean, I really don't have much to say right now. I think everybody's just been touched on everything, and I'm really speechless right now. I hate to say, I'm as rare that I am. But Sandra really did touch. She touched on some stuff, and it's true. Everybody does need a break at times. You know, I've had a break. You know, and it was during a tough time, and my cousin took my baby at the toughest time. You know, she went off to college, but it was still, I knew that she was right there with my baby. You know, and it was a tough time. But you know, I was burying my husband at the time and just processing everything. You know, so everything was tough. You know, because when you get a certain age, you're used to 2 incomes, and you go down to 1 income, and you know, you're like, oh my God, how can I fundle everything?
Yeah. You had you know, had to put the big draws on and jump in there and do the things that's necessary. And I hate to say figure it out, but the reality is you really have to. Sometimes you got to figure that thing out, man, because it's not easy, man. It's really not easy. Life, this journey called life, man, it could be very complicated sometimes. It could be very complicated. And it's not gonna always be quote unquote fair. It's not gonna say, you know, life ain't fair. Well, it's not gonna always be fair. And you some hands can be dealt to you that you don't feel that you should have. But at the same time, you got to put your big boy drawers on or your big girl panties on, and Rico, you have to really figure that thing out, man.
Yeah, you know, I realize that sometimes, you know, people want to figure it out themselves. Had a situation the other day. First off, let me say this about Cassandra, man, because before she even spoke up and said that, I just kept on having that word hero pop up in my head. And you know, it really takes a special person to be a hero and say, okay, I'll make that sacrifice for that most vulnerable or innocent person. I'll run into that house and see if I can get them babies out of there, because I see that it's a possibility that they may still be alive and I may be able to get to them. I'll jump in this water even though I can't swim and save this other child that can't swim, because I think I can figure out how to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? It's called courage and bravery. So, you know, sometimes you have to ask yourself, you know, if you can't do it yourself, you can't. They might not be able to put the big boy panties on. So, you know, Donna said something a second ago about we have to be a people that will intervene for those that can't help themselves. Sometimes, you know, because sometimes people give up and they don't realize there are other options. Now, of course, you don't want to be helping out somebody that's, you know, they say they want to break from their children. They need to break his hectic and this and that, but they ain't making no attempts. They ain't making no efforts. You go get them kids and all of a sudden they go get pregnant while you got the kids. Doing the same thing they got them kids.
Yeah.
You know, that happens. That happened with my first baby mama. I got my oldest sons, and the minute I got my oldest son, she went and got another baby. She felt like, you know, let's get it. So I mean, but that wasn't for her. That was for them. The reason why I had them. But God even intervened.
Yes, sir.
He intervened. He sent somebody named Jesus. See, first said God said reach out to him. And after a while, he realized that there's something wrong with them human beings that I created. They ain't reaching out. They ain't acting right. So let me reach out to them. Let me go down here in person. Ain't that what y'all say he did?
Yes, sir.
Ain't that what the book said?
Yeah.
He came in
Come on,
our
preach.
form and came down here and tried to intervene and made himself available in the flesh, one-on-one. See, I'm gonna reach out to you, even though I said I'm here, and call me if you need some help. But at the same time, to show you how sincere I am and how much I really meant it, I'm gonna call you and say, "Hey, how you doing?" I might pop up on you. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, how you doing? Where that baby at?
And there you go running around trying to put all your little drugs up, your little alcohol up. You're trying to hide all that stuff. You're putting out all your little adult toys and all that stuff. You're trying to put it all out of sight because you don't want to. Man, God see everything you do. God see everything you do. You can't hide.
But I always felt like, what I'm saying, in this existence that we live in, we've been told about a better existence after this called heaven. I always felt like, what I'm saying, that's what a hero was existing for. That's what made a hero, even if he didn't have superpowers. I'm talking about real live heroes. Somewhere in their heart, they have the compassion. They have the sensitivity to understand what another person is going through. Because see, if you are just one of them to pull your pants up and say, "Oh well, I could deal with the pain," sooner or later you get desensitized. You can't feel it anymore. So you have to be sensitive enough to understand and feel what another person is going through, or to understand what the bigger issue could end up being if you don't intervene.
Exactly. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
Let me say first, I'm not a hero. I'm not, I ain't nothing. I don't wear no cape. I just know what I'm called and chosen to do. And because I experienced so much pain as a kid growing up, and as a teenager, and as an adult, and I used to sit and cry out to God, why do I have to suffer so much? Why am I in so much pain? I'm talking about like 10, 11 years old. I was asking God that question. Why am I? And it continued. And when I became born again at 21, I'm 62 now, at 21, I remember praying and I distinctly heard this voice inside of me say, for the ministry's sake. And I was like, what ministry? What ministry? Now I understand, guys, why I had to go through what I went through, so that it would make me sensitive to other people's pain. And that's exactly what it is. I know what it's like to be physically abused, emotionally abused, sexually abused. I've been there, done that. And I don't want to see other people in the kind of pain that I was in.
Absolutely. And you say you're not a hero, and that's what it is. A lot of times heroes don't claim the fact that they are heroes. They don't claim it. They don't look for it. They don't do it to be called heroes. They do it because it's the right thing to do, and because God has placed it on their heart for them to do it. So I second that.
That's the definition. I mean, and I can identify exactly with what she's saying, because when you get that praise and that acknowledgement and recognition for doing things like that, you let people know sooner or later, like she just said, I didn't do it for the recognition. I didn't do it for y'all to say, look at me, y'all. I can save y'all. I did it because, man, I really and sincerely know how they feel, and I don't want them to feel like that. I don't want them to end up being in a situation like mine. And so I'm gonna see if I can intervene before it gets to that point.
And it falls up under that $1 billion word. It's a $1 billion word out there, and it's called compassion. It's called compassion. And because of the fact that you have that compassion for other people and you care for people, that's what puts you in the category of being that hero. Claim it, sister. Don't run away from it. Claim it. It's yours. It's yours. Toy, you with a T, what's on your heart?
Amen. I say claim it too. You understand? because everybody don't want to be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, absolutely. Whatever you do, especially if you're doing it in God's name, you know what I'm saying? You can be humble with it, but you can still claim it. I am his faithful servant. What's up? You don't know what that means? I'm with it. Let's go. Call me David. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many different things that we need to do in this intricate world, and how everybody else, we're our own God. We got our own Jesus type sacrifice. I'm cool with being the one that being molested before I've been any one of my nieces and nephews or their kids. We just have no idea. I'm cool with being the one that's probably going to be the savior of my family. Cool with being the one that got to make the legacy, create the name, the one that lasts for generations. Now I'm just working on getting the money matched too. I'm cool with being the one to carry that weight, because it's all about perspective. And the devil always get into our head. Black people had it just blows my mind to hear black people say what you can't do. Do you know who you come from? Do you know what people we used to be? And you get here now and say you can't walk because of a bus? Are you kidding me? Unacceptable. I don't want to hear it. Because we all have our own sacrifices, and whatever it is, we are many gods. It says ye are gods. I believe there's another chapter later on down in John where Jesus had to remind us again who you are. And that's what we need to focus on when it comes to this pain. You know, Cassandra made it sound real familiar to me, because God told me one day, because you're the person for the job. I bust out crying. I didn't know. You know, if I knew that all of these training, all of these things, because I'm telling you, I'm going to take a hit and I'm going to keep on rolling. Ain't nothing stopping me but God. But if I knew that all of those things were going to be the things that still built me up today, had I known it, you're absolutely right. I probably would not have went through it. But now that I know the point and the purpose,
come on.
Absolutely, I'll do it again. What? I'm one of the strongest black. I don't care if you know it or not. I don't care who know it or not. I don't care if I'm rich or poor. I understand my value in me and who I am today. So nothing else matters, man. But let's go. Let's roll with it. What you say? Because I'm the one to handle it. Let's go. Call me Donkey Kong. Call me Pac-Man. Call me whatever. Call me the winner of the game. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And this is why we need to be very careful when we get playing. That's training. That's Danielson training. That's doing 100 squats and your thighs hurt. That's doing 100 push-ups and your arms hurt. And it hurt. Yes, it does. Another kind of pain. But when you get done in the end, the things you're going to be able to endure from going through that pain is going to be limitless, depending on how far you push yourself. Not somebody else, but you. And this is what we need to know about pain, man. We got dominion over that too. So you better use it to your advantage and use it what God gave to you for.
Exactly. We got a few people that wanted to say something here. I know Tucson said he wanted to say something. Goddess said she has something as well. So Tucson, what's on your heart? Then we're gonna circle back around to Goddess, and we should have a few more minutes after that. But Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I was just thinking about how in some people's lives, I'm talking about the ones with thorn. Let me just use this for an example. With a thorn in their flesh, and you say, God, look, move this out of my life. I don't want this. I don't like this. It does not feel good. I don't want to be here. When it said all things work together for the good of them, you kind of wonder what that really means until you meet somebody that is going through the same thing that you have gone through, and you survived.
Come on.
So then you are able to strengthen your brother when you get converted. So when there are people, the Ricos, the Cassandras, the Toyas, the Leonards, and there are others that have had a life. It wasn't too nice, but when you see people that people push aside and you grab them by the hand and lift them up, it seems like all of the things that you went through was worth it.
Wow, that's good. Goddess?
I just wanted to touch base with and recall some things, especially with Miss Cassandra, and because she has such a beautiful spirit, and the spirit that she holds is that loving spirit, but also with that spirit, and you're dealing with a lot of people with pain and you're helping them all the time, don't forget that sometimes our cup runneth empty. And, you know, I was going, you know, when I did the big homeless shelter because of the freeze, we call it the Scott Ike Warman Center here in Kansas City, that everybody, everybody, other states started taking a look at it on how we handled it. And we opened up our convention center, and we started off with a gym, and it was like, I got 100 people, and we were like, wow, we were at capacity, but nor did we have it separated enough where the women and the women could be separated from the men. So it became unsafe. So we ended up having to get a bigger space. So when we moved to a bigger space, we ended up like with 500 people. Mind you, we only had a certain amount of people that was helping out. So we ended up getting more volunteers throughout the city that came in and helped, but still the same people that the main, I think it was main 7, 8 to 10 people was still had to be there to run it. And by me being the director, assistant director, it became so full, my cup runneth empty. Because I was watching so much and seeing so much hurt and pain, and it's like I'm doing the best that I can do, and there's no more. I'm bringing wraparound services in. I'm seeing these services getting so much millions and millions of dollars, and they saying we don't want to come in and help because we didn't start this, because they wasn't the chief of it, but they getting millions and millions of dollars, and it was just crazy to me. So it got to the point where it started to hurt me inside spiritually.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping there every day, certain nights on the floor because I know I'm so tired. I had to be here to put out some fires. So I didn't get home, to the point where my hair was falling out. I got sick, just all kind of things. Sometimes you have to take time out and take care of thyself.
Exactly. Leonard?
I think I have more in common with what Goddess is talking about, because I don't share the same what most of you have talked about. I don't share that perspective. Somebody got to steer the ship. Somebody has to. And this is why I'm so big on personal responsibility. Goddess is not meant to bear the burden of hundreds of people. She wasn't even created for that purpose. What she can, she does. But even in doing good, it can become overwhelming. So, when I hear people talking about this, that, or the other, I've never been in a situation like, even when dealing with just regular things. And Toussaint made a comment. I had a great life, Toussaint. I had a great life. I don't regret one moment. I don't share the background of people who have had problems in their lives. Because one, it's a problem, you fix it, you move on. You deal with it, you move on. I will not join pity parties. So even in activism, I have a certain role that I play. And I play my role. And I expect other people to play their part. It's not I. It's we.
Yes, sir.
And even with New Order, I do a certain thing. That's what I do. That's what I'm responsible for. I can't be in my feelings when I'm trying to give direction. I can't be in my feelings when I'm trying to accomplish a mission. See, when you're sitting around worried about people will take advantage of you this way. So you have to always be focused. Like, say, for instance, I'm not even moved at all by one story that I believe Rico told. Don't have no babies and then come talking to me about how hard it is. People been having babies. People been told you about it over and over and over and over again. The way we help our community is stop the destructive choice making. Because let me tell you something. There are people who do not care. When they hurt, but they just a bunch of emotions. So once you satisfy them, they go do what they gonna do while you still sitting there with their hurt.
They're gonna lay it on you.
Yeah, they're gonna give it to you, and they're gonna go about their business and do what they want to do. And you're gonna be sitting there with their hurt. Dead people not worried about what happened to them. They not. They're not. And I remember Jesus saying, "Let the dead bury the dead."
Yeah.
There's some people ain't going. Some people not gonna cross the river. They just not.
Exactly.
So one, you have to be able to understand, because one, this is the thing, being taken advantage of can happen mentally and emotionally. You all talk about abuse. Who gonna stand up and take responsibility for it? You either gonna take ability, you're gonna have to stand up and take responsibility for it.
Yes, sir.
Because the person abusing you, they may never do it. They may never turn into a great person. But you can.
Good deal. Good deal. We got a few more, got 2 more minutes before we get out of here. Badge, I think you have something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I was listening to a lot of things, and one of the things that I've learned is those of us that seem to be called to help other people that are going through tough times in life. You know, I don't think Great Spirit is telling us to take their pain. That makes no sense. However, I do feel that by serving as a soundboard or the share experiences or advice, you know, we're supposed to be like a duck. As they're speaking and as they're letting things go, lifted up to Great Spirit and thinks that they're in the process of healing and taking it on and making it yours is a disservice to them.
Wow. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? We're ready to get on out of here. What's on your heart?
Like I gave pretty much good side of both perspectives. You know, I did say I made a mistake and did the same thing with my children, and my first children's mom went out and got another baby when they got pregnant. I mean, so you know, you have to use some common sense in that. I mean, some situations you can't save people because you're gonna die too. You know, I saw a few months ago where this woman was out taking pictures and jumped into some water like a fool, and then this woman's husband, they were both physical trainers. He jumped off in this rough water to try to save her. Both of them ended up dead. Now imagine if his wife would have tried to do the same thing. See, but the thing is we could persecute the people that have the children all day long, but then when you see somebody crying out and they acting erratic and they might be a little off a little bit, and you truly listening to them, I got to go and try to intervene on behalf of that baby. See, I mean, it's a thin line between saying, well, you know what, I can't do anything and I can. So I think most of the people on here that's been listening and speaking, they're speaking on behalf of the point that when you can safely do these things, you can. Like God, I agree with what God has said too, wholeheartedly. You still got to make sure you got enough in your cup to give. Because if you give too much, then you'll mess around and be in the same shape they in. So it don't mean be stupid, but at the same time, don't be selfish. Don't be so self-centered and such a coward if that's what it is. To the point where you just say, well, you know what? I'm only gonna help so far. But I ain't got nothing to say about that man raping his daughters every night, even though I hear it. Oh well. No, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, exactly.
And if push come to shove, and the police ain't doing nothing, and CPS ain't doing nothing, you know what? I might take a penitentiary chance. If push come to shove, I might say, you know what, man, I think I might be able to get away with this, but I got to save them children.
Yep.
Because I'm capable enough. And I could take whatever comes with that, but them children can't.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm looking at the clock. It is 10:02. It's time for us to get out of here. But I want to touch Cassandra before we get out of here. Cassandra, anything on your heart?
No, I'm going to repeat this again. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something. That is the motto for my ministry. It always has been. So you might can't do what I do, but you could do something. We should all be striving to serve. And Badger, I like what Badger said. I'm not trying to overdo or overstep. I just want to do exactly what I'm called and chosen to do. Beyond that, I don't want to do anything else. I want to do exactly what God called and chose me to do. And that's it.
Exactly. Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
If you are able and capable to watch the show and you missed it in its entirety, and you would like to see it in its entirety, tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
In its
entirety. Oh yeah, you missed it. You missed it.
I missed. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I missed. I stepped away doing something for a second, but yeah. Let me see who we're gonna get the prayers out today. Let's go to you know what?
Get somebody that's capable and able. I ain't no hero on this end. I can't step in on that one.
Good. Goddess. How about Goddess? Goddess, your prayers out today?
I'm capable and I'm able.
Well, let's make it happen.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are joined together in your most gracious, wonderful world that you brought us in. We want to be mindful of others that have not had or been through or going through things that we might not understand. Give us the understanding. Give us the love that maybe we can share for those that we come around. Give us the mission to assist and help, but also give us the strength to stay focused within our life and continue to find you, Heavenly Father. Dear Lord, thank us as we can. We thank you as we continue to go on our journey and we continue our talk shows. So therefore, we can find out within ourselves or who we are and open up and learn some things from others. We thank you. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Good deal. I want to thank everybody. It's now 10:05. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. As I said, it's 10:05. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. And please, each and every one of you, be blessed.